just this. Look at this. Oh God, fucking getting on.
It's all right, you can edit that bit out.
I can. I have the technology.
That bit's been edited out for the bloopers.
Well, this is our first Green Grimoire video for ages and ages, and we've come away for a few days to Anglesey in Ysmon, and we are on our last day here, and we thought we'd come to say it properly, Chris.
Bryn Celli Ddu.
Bryn Celli Ddu, because I'm murdering the Welsh language. Apologies to all Welsh beautiful speakers. But Bryn Celli Ddu is one of my most favourite places on the planet. I absolutely adore this place. It is one of the most, I think, emotional places for me when I visit. But I thought I'd introduce you. I mean, if anybody doesn't know Christopher Hughes, of many books, worldwide renown.
Who are you?
Who are
Who
you,
am
Chris? Who are you, Chris? Name some of your fabulous books for people to go.
I've written quite a few now. The Book
You
of
have?
Druidry, Cerri, Celtic Goddess of Inspiration, From the Cauldron Born, the Book of Celtic Magic, As the Last Thief Falls, 3 tarot decks. So there's a few.
There's a few.
There's a few.
And they're all bloody brilliant.
Oh, thank you.
So if you haven't read any of Chris's books, go out and buy them all. You will not be disappointed.
Wherever books are sold.
Yes, and he lives on Anglesey with his lovely partner Ian, and we are all here visiting Bryn Celli Ddu. So I thought I would get Chris to just give us a bit of a kind of knowledgeable rundown on the kind of archaeological and spiritual side of it, and his feeling about Bryn Celli.
I love this place, and I consider it to be kind of almost like the spiritual home as well of the Anglesey Druid Order, because we hold all of our civic public rituals here, and it feels as if we're in community with her, that she's a living, breathing, sacred site, not just a monument, even though I think it's easy to use that word monument, that she's more than that. She's existed for different groups of people through so much time, 5,000 years, and she still draws people here. And she was built a long time ago, and she was probably something different to all of the different people who connected with her. So she has a significance to us, which is going to be different to the last people who used her. But every summer solstice, from exactly where we're sitting here, the sun will rise above the farmhouse behind the camera over there and send a beam of light directly down into the centre of the chamber. And there's mica, gold mica in the stones. And she lights up like liquid gold. It's a remarkable to think. Not only is it remarkable to see, but you're seeing something that those people saw. And in that moment, it feels as if time is irrelevant. You know how it's tempting to think that these places are ancient.
Yeah.
And I think when we consider them as being ancient, that it removes its immediacy. These things, these structures aren't just ancient, they're also immediate.
They are.
She's here. She's a part of not only the stories of the people who built her, but also the story of the land itself. Sings through that animistic spirit that they felt and were compelled to design and build her in a particular way to welcome the rays of the sun at the summer solstice and to mark the passage of the winter solstice at the back. And she's still here. There's very little to tell us how those people lived in this area.
No.
But there's this to tell us how they maybe felt about this area. That emotional connection to the living spirit of the land. And she's still here.
Yeah.
And she will still be here 10,000 years, 50,000 years into the future.
Yeah.
And I always think, who will those people be? What will they think of her? How will they connect to her? And she feels alive to me, and whenever I have moments of insomnia or little personal crises, I like to come here in the dead of night alone, not just as community.
Powerful stuff.
Yeah, she's a really special place, and she feels familiar, but it almost feels as if she finds us familiar. That what we are doing here, we don't know what people did here before, but sometimes I have a feeling that she recognises in us something that she saw in peoples of the past.
I think we all need the same I mean, human beings haven't changed that much, have they? So what we need is pretty much the same as it was back then. I mean, all right, so we have Tesco's and all of the rest of it now, but our emotional needs and our sense of needing succour and connection to, the celestial, the earthly, and each other, the way that our sort of animistic ancestors would have worked, is something we're trying to reanimate and reclaim and re-enchant within ourselves. And places like this, I've heard people say in the past, oh, you don't know what they were, they might have been goat pens. But I mean, that may be true, but it was still an interaction between the land, the people, and everything else that went that went on. But what we need it for now is totally relevant, I think,
to us. Because when you consider the last people in antiquity to have used this place, to have worked in this place, to have done whatever shenanigans they did here, there's almost as much time between those and the people who built her as there is between us and the last people who used her. So they wouldn't have known what the original builders built her for. There was so much time between them, and that didn't negate the necessity that they felt to come here. And I always think that these places are living storybooks.
Absolutely.
And if we've got the time, the impetus and the humility to stop, to hear that story, it will reveal it.
Yeah.
And that story will be relevant to everybody who falls into relationship with her. And I think that's testament to the fact that not only do these places intrigue people who might not consider the spiritual implications of them, they still tug at them. They tug at their imaginations, they tug at their creativity, and to me that is still a connection and a communication with a place that is steeped in story.
You've only got to see that from the ADO. I don't know if I mentioned Chris is the head of the Anglesey Druid Order, which you do so many rituals and so many things, but particularly the solstice rituals here, don't you?
Yeah.
And to illustrate what you're saying, I mean, how many people come? There's hundreds of people who come.
It's about 350, 400 people.
And they're not
Yeah.
all Druids. A lot of them are from all walks of life.
Yeah.
I mean, and but they are, as you say, they are drawn here by more than just, well, that's a curious thing to do. Let's go and do that. There's something beautiful here.
There's a compulsion.
Yes.
To pull.
Right.
Hiya, ti'n iawn?
Iawn,
Ewch chi fewn. Sorry, jyst wrthi'n recordio tamad da ni.
oh, sorry.
Mae'n iawn, brech yn boeni. Yeah, so, and I think sometimes that compulsion is difficult for people to articulate. And what we find is, particularly with the community events that happen here, people are given the opportunity to express that connection that they might not be able to articulate, but they can do artistically and creatively. Yeah. So the Cadw is the name of the Welsh Heritage Organisation who looks after these places, and they encourage people to come here in the summer months for their archaeology open days and to be able to find a way to express what they feel. And that's quite a remarkable thing to see, people who might not have any form of spiritual persuasion, but are compelled by what I can only describe as the spirit of a place. Yeah. And I find that beautiful, wondrous, magical, mystical, and all of the other words that we have for the ethereal.
I think for me it's almost like it's long memory that's kind of embedded in your DNA. And then you've only, when somebody goes, I'm going to do this, it's like your little DNA cells perk up and go, what? That sounds familiar. I need some of that. And the profound effects that unveils for people. Yeah. It's quite extraordinary.
It is.
You can see it in their faces all the way around the everyone here.
Yeah.
It's fabulous.
She is. Oedd mae'n oer heddiw yma.
Ydy, gwynt yn fain dyn ni.
Mae'n braidd. Ti'n meddwl bod geia'n dwad eto. So yeah, there's I find that even though I feel as if we are in community with her, ironically we're the least permanent part of that community.
Aren't we just?
She's still a silent, well, not necessarily silent either, but a sentinel, a witness to not just her founding, but to her significance through time. Yeah. And all of these places contain that spirit of why this land? Why was this spot? And not just this spot either. Yeah. She stands today seemingly in isolation, but she wasn't in isolation at all.
I was going to say, she's part of a little complex, isn't she?
Yeah, a much, much larger and wider ritual complex. And it's extremely extensive all the way up to the distant hills. There are rock art and there are other monuments that have since been ploughed into the ground, but the remains of those are still under the surface. So each year the Community Archaeology Project come here from Cadw, Welsh Heritage, and they spend 6 weeks here together with the University of Manchester. The Druids are involved as well, which is always lovely to reveal the mysteries of this place.
Pull away the veils.
Yeah, through the veil. And I think the way in which those mysteries reveal themselves are being revealed in a way that is pertinent to us in this time, which I think is testament to the fact that these are timeless places. Yeah. Thin places.
Liminal spaces where all kinds of magic can happen.
Yes, betwixt and between.
I love that.
And I have a profound and deep love for this place. She's incredibly special to me.
Absolutely.
And we've been coming here for a very long time now, 25 years as a Druid order to celebrate the winter and summer solstice. And each time it feels like a deepening of that story, but in relation to hers. Yeah. Which is rather lovely.
It's beautiful. It's that kind of umbilical link. I mean, she's like a womb, isn't she?
Yeah.
It's just, there's that. And every time it's like, instead of it being cut away and discombobulated from the land. It actually is a greater, more deep and more nourishing tide, which I think is just glorious.
It is. And they also found, the archaeologists found, they refer to them as magic stones, which are water or sea polished quartz. And the rivers and the seas around here are rich with these stones. And they found them here, and they found that they all contained microfractures. So people in the past have been banging these stones together. And of course, when you bang two quartz pebbles together, you release triboluminescence, because it has an inherent energy inside of it. And that's released through a strong odour, which is similar to gunpowder, and a pale orange light. And so there are many times where I will come here in the dead of night, sometimes alone, sometimes with other people, with these stones, and we'll sit in the dark there and bang these stones together. It's almost a very mantraic, repetitive
act. Almost like banging a drum and kind of that shamanic kind of riding the wave.
And the rhythm of it, you know. But then there's the light that occurs, and then other people who might be with me are also releasing those lights, and the smell. And whenever I've done that in here by myself or with other people, there's always a sense that she remembers that. Because they obviously did it in the past, and we might not know for what reason, but it might just be for that repetitive mantraic action where you start to lose the very edges of your own sensibilities and step through that thin place, you know. And
shivery and fabulous.
Yes, and that feels lovely as well, because again, it's a bridge, right? It feels like a bridge to the past, where in that moment time becomes irrelevant, and that it's just people in relationship with a place and also the spirit of that place, you know. And she's just here.
And her name means?
So her name means the hill in the dark grove, which doesn't seem to make much sense today because there isn't a grove here. But there was, and up until the main excavation took place in the early part of the 20th century. And prior to that, and there are some images that you can find online, this whole complex was just a grove of trees, very dark and very gnarly. And I think it had a spookiness to it. So it was called the Hill in the Dark Grove. And then in the early 20th century, they discovered, this isn't just a grove. There's something in amongst the roots of these trees. And of course, what they found was minus the mound. The mound had eroded away. They found the internal stone structure with all these trees growing out, of huge mature oak trees. So the trees were cleared. So now she's no longer the hill in the dark grove, but she still maybe is in spirit. You know, that those trees contributed to not only her preservation, but also to the very nature of this place, you know. And so the names are important as well, because they relay something about the story. So for centuries, if not a couple of millennia, that was all hidden under trees. You know, and then the trees revealed. You know. And I think there was a storm as well or something, and the storm managed to push some of the trees over. And then somebody was, hold on a second, there's something underneath these trees.
And she was like, hello.
And she's like, hi. But I'm back. So the mound that you see is not the original mound.
No.
The consideration is that the mound was probably much larger. So the mound has been reconstructed. And even though they've used some of the material that was strewn about the site, they've also added new material and supporting joists as well to keep the capstones up, because the trees had cracked through. You know, the roots of trees will get through anything, won't they?
They will.
So that they'd actually cracked the capstones. So now there are supporting joist beams in there to maintain its integrity. And even though they're modern concrete beams, are now like part of who she is. You know,
it's all part of her evolution, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
And that interesting kind of rather phallic stone in there, which has got markings.
It does.
Apparently,
Yes,
it's got
there are markings down the phallus that's freestanding, and half of it is buried in the ground. And there has been some stories that the pillar is a petrified tree, but it's not a petrified tree. But it's even more magical and mysterious than that, because it's a rolled volcanic pillow from a volcanic vent that isn't found here. It's found way off to the west and underwater. So, well, how did that even get here? How did they know it was there? How did they retrieve it? How did they transport it? It asks more questions than it provides answers.
Yeah.
But I am somewhat in love with the fact that she does ask more questions than provides answers. I think if we knew everything about her, it would strip some of that mystery away.
It's like discovering there is actually a Loch Ness monster. Yes. It's like, please, let's just have mystery. I like mystery.
Yes. So, and she certainly evokes and invokes mystery. We don't know her whole story, but she does reveal to us parts of her story that are relevant to us.
Yeah.
And so I hope that we've been coming here for a long time, but I hope people will always come here for as long as people can get here, to have a sense of her mystery, because she reveals herself to people in different ways.
Definitely.
You know, and I feel very lucky, very privileged that she's just down the road from where I live.
On
you know,
your
I can
doorstep.
come whenever I want, and
Yeah.
and I feel very lucky and privileged to be in that position, and to have shared such amazing times here with people.
And they've been epic. I've been to several of the different solstices, and every time they're just incredibly moving and profound.
There's something about being here at dawn anyway, regardless of the time of year.
Yeah.
In that thin time, you know, which kind of I feel is evocative of her own spirit. You know.
You've got to love a liminal space, a
Yes.
doorway, or a
Yes.
a seashore, or there's just something profoundly
Yes.
potential about the whole thing, isn't there? It's like, you can go anywhere from here. It's like there are no limits.
Yes, exactly
Lovely.
that. And I think to see 300 people or so turning to face that direction as the sun, because the tree line would have been the same height, you know, in the distance on the horizon. And when the sun does rise, to see all those people all standing here with their hands raised towards the sun in silence.
Yeah,
It could be any time.
it could.
Any time.
Literally.
Any peoples. And what is it that compels someone to stand, you know, and greet this ball of nuclear fusion that we're so accustomed to? And yet there's a moment in time where people stop to acknowledge not only its power and its life-giving powers, but that it's being marked and has always been marked for thousands of years. And I find those moments very important, that people feel, even though they might not never been to a ritual, they might never have seen a druid ceremony, but suddenly they feel compelled to mark that moment.
Yeah.
And it's not just because there are druids here, because of the nature of the place and the space.
It's that sense in a Western kind of mindset, in the kind of essentially something that's happened really quickly over the past sort of 100, 200 years. We've gone from being really connected, farming, agricultural, to something else.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody has really adapted to that on a fundamental level. So we're missing that connection, and when we get the opportunity, it really strips away all of the stuff, and it's like mother's milk, isn't it? It's like mother's milk, and you're like a baby reaching up, going.
Yeah. And places like this kind of offer an opportunity for a little reset.
Yeah.
In that thinking. And I've seen people who have come here who are local people, and they've heard, the Druids are here on the summer solstice, and they've come down. So many have never been here, and yet they live here, and are
It's
completely.
so odd to think.
It's weird, isn't it? But are completely transformed by it. I didn't even know this was here, and
get a sudden rush of love for the place that they live on.
yes, and people say, oh, who built it? Why did they build it? I say, well, we don't necessarily know the whys, but the who are your ancestors. You built it.
You did.
People built it.
It's in your DNA, mate.
It's there, yes. And whether we're connected, and no doubt if they found skeletons around here, there's a huge good chance that I'm probably related to them. But then to those who aren't, there's still such a thing as spiritual ancestry. We are one people, regardless of the colour of our skins or how we identify ourselves personally. We're one peoples on a globe spinning around a star.
Made of the earth.
Made of the earth.
We're made of this stuff.
And she is a song of that, an expression, a living, creative, artistic expression of that deep connection, which is that all of us are caught up in this drama of moon and sun.
Yeah.
And I find these places have an ability for us to find our axis mundi.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that axis mundi, that tree of life, is not in a place that's distant. It isn't at a location. It's wherever we are.
Yeah.
Can be that axis.
It's that central. So anyone who doesn't know what an axis mundi is, it's kind of like the world's axis. It's like your feet are on the floor, they become your roots. Your trunk is here, and you're reaching up to the sky. It's the tree of life. It's the central point, and wherever you are standing, you can be that. You can be that
axis, and so is she.
Yes.
Quite
profoundly.
Yeah, and I love her very much.
Yes.
It's a remarkable place.
It is. Thank you.
I wonder if she compelled us both to wear khaki.
I don't know. We're in matching outfits. It wasn't by design. Oh, Chris, thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
It's just absolutely brilliant.
Welcome. And if any of you are ever compelled to come visit, come visit.
Yes. And do look up the Anglesey Druid Order and buy Chris's books because they're fabulous, and listen to him talk on various different things because he's awesome.
Oh, thank you. So are you.
So there you go.